and welcome to another edition of the Daily Deuce. I am John Webster, and I'll be your host today. My sidekick, Gary Graves, is not here. He's on assignment getting ready for Kentucky's big game against Georgia on Saturday. Take care of business, Gary, and good luck to the Wildcats on Saturday. But we have a guest here today hosting with me, the one and only Dr. Richard Miles of the MFL. Miles, how you doing, man?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Mr. Webster.
Man, it's absolutely our pleasure. And I would be remiss if I didn't say hey to the main man, our producer, John Pitt. What's going on, John?
Hey, man, we almost finished the first week of NFL. Can't wait to talk about it, man. Great game tonight, too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And, man, let's get right to it, Miles. Let's get right to it. We're going to talk about your hometown team first, and then we're going to let you talk a little bit about the NFC East as a whole. But these Washington Commanders, they ran into a buzzsaw yesterday, man, against Tampa Bay. What happened, man?
Well, I wouldn't say that. We really didn't know what we had in this young team. But what I've seen a lot to be excited about, really. I just think that they didn't turn them loose. In other words, I think the play selection they gave them, it's like they were more cautious with them than anything else. And as a ball player, you're going to try to make things happen. That's why he kept taking off. They let him throw down the field one time. He just overthrew the receiver just a little bit. And I just think they really restricted him a lot. I think I'd like to see Aguilera. I'd like to see him run the ball more. That little guy is quick and strong. I mean, I knew he was good watching him up in San Diego, but watching him yesterday, I just think that they stay basic with their offense. Now, but the quarterback, he's real. The guy's a real deal. So I'm not really mad, and I say that to say because whether you win the first game or lose it doesn't really dictate how the season gonna go. Come on now, look what happened to Baltimore. And we know. So you chalk it up. I think they need a lot of work on the defense. There was a lot of blown assignments out there, which, as you know, drove me crazy, Mr. Webster. Being a former player and a defensive player, that was driving me crazy because you could see the coverages was blown. A lot of the kid guys did not let the game come to them. They was trying to force stuff. And, I mean, even in the coverages and stuff, I mean, I could tell what coverage they was in. I'm wondering why the cornerbacks were stopped. It was no help over the top. Why would they stop? And when you look at it, Mayfield, he just did what anybody else would do. You have an opportunity. You see it was an inexperienced secondary, inexperienced defense. I'm not even gonna get mad with my man playing the middle linebacker, came from Seattle. What's his name? He missed a tackle. Come on, absolutely. Come on now. But then again, it all plays into Mr. Webster. When you don't play your veteran guys but one series during the exhibition, come on, man. Most of them guys look like they was gassed out there. I think the defensive line was coming. I think they need to break down a little more under control. The tackles got to stay in the box because that thing opened up and there was nobody there. And I'm going to say to you again, Mr. Webster, I don't know what defense they playing. They're not playing a 4-3. I know they playing the defense where they're using the safety as a linebacker, but he's still playing like a safety. You need to play three linebackers. Because when they flared the back out the backfield either side, there was no one there. Please, if they hear me, I'm going down Redskin Park because I'm gonna do a little covering some of the practice, and I'm gonna tell them, come on, man. They did something yesterday. I wonder if you thought about me. They had both of the backs in the backfield together. Man, did you see that, Mr. Webster? They had both in the backfield, and I think that's a better combination. If they did that, because now if you get in trouble, you can flare the backs. We did nothing. They stayed as basic as you can be with a young team. The offensive line ain't do too bad, Mr. Webster. I mean, they ain't do too bad. They will miss a lot, but they was really. I think there's no cohesiveness there, but it didn't lack of these guys didn't have heart out there. I just think the second.
Let me ask you a couple questions. On the defensive side, what you saw yesterday, and you alluded to it, there were some errors made in the secondary. Are these correctable errors, or is this the best they have to offer with the secondary for the season?
Both. I think that these guys that they have playing, there's a lot of new guys that we have to make adjustments. These guys got to understand patience. These guys, game speed and practice speed is two different, type of speed. You know that. I think that we got to get the best people out there. Yeah, I'm laughing because we might have to call Fuller back up, wherever he at. Because he gonna make some plays. He might get a little cocky sometimes, but you might have to call him back. The kid, we giving him all the opportunities. He was getting beat out there. Not that he was there. It's just that Darryl Green said something to me. If he just worked with that kid a little time, the guy, you'll see 100% improvement with him. I just think, and I'm going to talk about number draft, what, 2 years ago, last year, number 3. He don't lack the talent. He lacked the knowledge right now. And a lot of people don't understand that. But right now, I think it's the best that we get, unless we make some moves. I'm not saying we panic right now, but we're might have to make some moves. The defensive line, I'm happy with. They just got to settle down in terms of it's a hurry to get there, but you still have to play your gaps, man. You still got to play your gaps. Your tackles got to stay in the middle. I know we got all pro tackles, but they have to stay in the middle of the field. You can't keep splitting like the Red Sea, if you know what I mean. The linebackers was a little lost out there, but then again, that comes with reps and stuff. That comes from playing. And I'm not ready to panic right now, Mr. Webster. If you ask me what grade would I give them, a D. I would give them a D. But mindful of this is the first game. Ain't nothing been settled about a first game. If they won the game by 10 points or 20 points, I wouldn't get all crazy about it because, hey, they still the learning process still.
Now, how about on the offensive side? They seem to have been a little conservative yesterday.
Very. And that's what I was pointing, Mr. Webster. Yeah, very conservative. Why, I don't know. But to me, it's like they don't trust him. And that might be not a bad choice of words, but I'm going to, me. I'm just going to tell it like it is. This kid is like that, man. He's like that. They never do no slants. They never do no outs. They never do no curls. Now, we know we got the speed to get upfield. Now, I'm going to go back. They never should have traded Dotson, especially to a division foe. You don't do that. They should have been no more pace with him because, when Dotson came in, he set things on fire. We look like we lack the speed to go upfield. I think they was definitely too conservative.
Okay. So they are conservative. If they're worried that, for lack of a better term, Jaden Daniels, if they're trying to protect him and spoon feed him and bring him along slowly, then why put him out there in that type of atmosphere? I think, and you tell me, Miles, you're the football guy. If you put him out there, and I say this out of respect to you, I've seen you coach, and you put those kids out there, and you put them out there, they just got to go play. And that's my point with Jaden Daniels. If you put him out there, he's either got to play or not play. I didn't see any passes downfield. like you said, I didn't see the slants. I didn't see the crossing patterns. I didn't see 15-yard passes. I saw a lot of dinks and donks to the running backs and the tight ends.
And
So
didn't
help me understand.
and he didn't really do that. He never swung the ball out the backfield. Aguilar, that guy is going to make a difference this year, right? They're not utilizing him the way they should. You can't be apprehensive in terms of who you're going to go with first. Okay, you're going to, I was switching up. That's what I said. You're going to run him because what's the name to run? There's no question about it. He can run. But he don't give you that quickness, man. He's one of them pounders that can run. You know what I mean? But Aguilar, he is dangerous, man. This guy should be doing your sweeps, your toss, man. The 26 sidelines. You should send this guy out on linebacker. Linebacker ain't ready to cover this guy. I put guys out there, but if I put a guy out there, he gonna understand the game. He gonna understand technique. But then again, don't matter how much technique or how much talent a guy has, he has to play. And I just don't feel like they let the kid play. He got so that he started taking off because they're not giving him the plays. You know what I mean? They're not giving him the plays. Let him run the play. He should start quarterback, but let the man go on and shine. He outperformed your boy up in Chicago. The other kid, he outperformed all of them. And that's because the Washington team wasn't giving him the plays. You talking about this guy, this and that. Man, we should have kept, what's his name here, for the offensive coordinator. Because I'm telling you, now that you have a quarterback, now you're scared to use him. Come on now.
I tell you what, Miles, and I agree with you. Before we move on to the rest of the NFC East, I have a question from you from one of our viewers. This is Ed from Arnold, Maryland. Here we go. Magic Johnson has over the years invested heavily in the DMV area. Is Magic Johnson hands-on enough or even close enough to inject a winning culture to the Commanders?
Absolutely not. And I say that not to be the start anything. I just don't think that he really making decisions there. And then again, this is football, not basketball. A winning culture is a winning culture, but you don't want to get into something you're not. By the way, I'm still looking for Magic Johnson. He invests in this soccer mess, and the NFL is here, but I see him. You know I'm going to get on him. But no, and I say that not to be critical of anything. He understands business. He only get involved with something that he really knows. Not saying he's dunce when it comes to football, but he's not a football guy. Okay, and you really, if you're gonna say some things, really know the game, and I wouldn't say that he don't really know the game, but it's a different animal. You know that, Mr. Wesley. You're a heck of a coach in basketball and stuff, and not saying you couldn't coach football, but it'll take a while for you to understand talent. See, people say a guy can run fast, might catch a few passes. That's really going to make him a ball player. And then you have some guys just natural athletes. But is he that position player? No. You know the old saying, you could be a jack of all trades, master of none. He's just an athlete. And one thing about athlete, he can hurt you in some ways and hurt you in others.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you, Ed, for that question. You got it straight from Richard Miles with the answer. Now, for the rest of the NFC, the Giants went down yesterday. Are they really that much of a struggle? Or what's going on there with the Giants?
It's a lot of problems there in terms of they made the wrong move. They gave him the money and didn't give it to Barkley. That was a big mistake.
You mean they gave it to Daniel Jones?
They gave it to Daniel Jones, gave him money. Now, I'm happy for any player to get anything in football. Football's a dangerous sport. Your career could be over in one play. But that don't mean you jump and make decisions like they made with them. We know the Giants, well, if anybody really thinking in that, will they win some games this year? Probably. But will they be a factor? No. They in disarray up there. I think mostly is in the front office more than people want to acknowledge. They brought us in the front office, man, even with the coaching staff.
Now, here's the real questions for you. The Eagles and the Cowboys. The Eagles pulled out a tight one and beat Green Bay Friday night. The Cowboys signed Dak Prescott yesterday morning and then went and did a number on the Cleveland Browns. Are these the two best teams in the NFC East? Talk to me.
No. And I say that not being prejudiced or anything like that. We all know the Eagles got nothing. The Eagles is a good team, but they also, you know what I'm saying? So you have contenders and pretenders. The Eagles are pretenders. They have some front office problem too, because anytime when something go on, you know, that coach is still a problem with their coaches, their head coach, and the players, and the front office. So you got people really not on the same page. They're not on the same page. You know what I mean? So this is some of the things that they need to work on. Can the Eagles be beat? Absolutely. Will they win some games? Yes. But I still think that they have problems with your boy, AJ, him and the quarterback.
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
They still got problems, man. A lot of people don't want to, don't really understand and see it, but it's a problem there. Bring in and I'm going to tell you something. The Eagles took that trade. You be careful. Well, something's going to shake y'all really up. They brought Dodson in and what's his name? The quarterback and the receiver really not getting along. Sometimes, man, that when you have dissension amongst your team and the side and the locker room divided, because you know it's going to be some players joining other players' sides, you know. And let me just get off that and just say, no, the Eagles are right, but they're not the be all. And getting to the Cowgirls, nah. They gave Dak the money because they had no choice but to give him the money. Because Dak would have went somewhere else and got the money. You know it, and I know it. Okay, so Jerry Jones playing games. Now, you look at, and you say Cleveland. Did you mention Cleveland? Cleveland? Come on now, Cleveland. And did you see the report that said on First Take that Cleveland need a quarterback? Absolutely something wrong with the court. There's something wrong with our body up there, man. I don't know what's going on within his head. I don't know if it's a mental thing. He was a shell of himself, man. I looked at a little bit of the game and I saw it. I said, man, something wrong here. They need to sit this guy down. If you need to get, you know, some psychiatric treatment, something's wrong, Mr. Webster. Something's really wrong. But this guy, you can't be a ball player, a super ball player like that. Then all of a sudden, in a couple of years, something go wrong. Something, I think mentally, he had the problem. And they need to address that sooner or later. And playing him out there now, he's going to get himself hurt and he's going to get other people hurt. And I just think something ain't right. And it's all right to be not all right, Mr. Webster. You know what I mean? But someone to address that problem. And they want to just throw him out there and say, okay, we paid you this money, and we're going to get our money out you. That's not the way to go. As far as Dallas beating Cleveland, come on now. I mean, Cleveland, really? And they really didn't do all that to Cleveland. Let them do. It's easy to fight a one-arm guy. Am I right or wrong? We should be able to be the one-arm guy. And that's why I want to see Dallas get into the real mix. And I still think that Dallas is more of a pretender than a contender. That's the way they've been for the last, 7 or 8 years, and they will continue to be that.
Well, you mentioned being a person that is struggling. So does that mean the Commanders are going to beat the Giants this week?
Let me say this to you. And remember, I say this, and I got on the limb, and I said it. I don't know if I mentioned it. You know, it's so hard to get you on my show. Inside the NFL, my other show, you know, about to give them tag, Game Time. The Washington team is a sleeper. I'm telling you, they are a sleeper because now even more people not thinking about them. So there's no pressure on them. Or like Ric Flair say, the pressure is not on me, it's on them. Because whatever they did to me, they have to prove to millions of people that they can do it again. So right there is no pressure on them. And I predict Washington get in the playoff this year. They're going to fool a lot. Dallas, the pressure's on Dallas. As soon as a couple of things go wrong, watch. Everybody going to do finger point up there. Because you pay a guy all this money, that's what the market, that is the rate for the market. Not saying Greg is a good quarterback, great quarterback or anything, but he's a good quarterback.
All right, we coming to the end here, and as always, you've done a great job giving some in-depth analysis. You got the Commanders beating the Giants on Sunday. Dallas and New Orleans, who wins?
I think New Orleans will get them, and not because New Orleans put all them points up last week. Because, like I say, I'm a person, like it, seeing is believing, and my old saying, documentation becomes. Let me see everybody get 5 games into the season, and that way we can kind of tell who's going to do what. And then, even then, not so, but you can kind of tell how teams progress in terms of what their real talent is.
And last but not least, the game between the birds. The Falcons play the Eagles next week. Who wins?
I think the Falcons can get him as long as Cousins ain't quarterbacking. Because if Cousins quarterbacking, he's gonna find a way to give it away like he did yesterday.
Well, just so you know, Cousins will be quarterbacking, so that means you got the Eagles.
You draft this kid and then you bring a Cousins in to give him all this money. That's my understanding. But don't forget I put it up on social media, Mr. Watson. In the next 3 to 5 years, the NFL, all the starting quarterbacks will be African American within 3 to 5 years.
Okay, I got you. I appreciate that information. As always, my dear friend, Dr. Richard Miles from the MFL, a wonderful man, even better friend, and he's doing absolutely wonders with the MFL. Miles, thank you for coming in today. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you for watching the Daily Deuce. As Gary and I say each week, watch some sports. Watch the NFL. Watch some college football. Watch some soccer. But above all else, watch some sports. Take care, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Webster.